Welcome back, everyone, to the third ever episode of World of Warcraft. Oh my goodness, I've been gone so long. There's still more new stuff. OMGIBGSLTSMNS. I think I said all that right. Yes, there is still more new stuff. So here we are again. It's our third episode, and I'm just gonna load right into the game. So I have another funny story for you guys. My daughter watched the second episode, and I began that episode with a story of her suggesting to me what I should do in that episode. And she watched that episode and came back to me with even more suggestions. She said, I should start telling you guys stories. I should tell you,
Ain't you a chipper looking one?
for example, how I met my wife. And it is a pretty good story, but I don't tell it very well. Long story short, I was playing World of Warcraft, and so was she, and we met in Scarlet Monastery. And I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. That's the short story. We were both living in California. I was in a small town in Northern California called Vallejo. Lots of Filipinos living in that town, and she was living in, I don't know if it's a small town, but she was in Southern California called Temecula or Murrieta, one of those two. She had just moved from one and to the other. I'm not sure. I think she moved from Temecula to Murrieta, but I could be wrong. And so yeah, we just ran into each other, and she was actually playing a male character, Night Elf, and I was playing that paladin on my character list that I showed you on my first episode. And oh my goodness, am I doing this correctly? I need to focus on this. Hold on, sorry. Oh my goodness, I think the dogs are attacking the boss, and I should be attacking the ads. So I just noticed that I was kind of dying. And the dogs finished off the boss. Thank you, puppies! Ooh, I have a bow staff. And that's more muscle memory in action. Opening up my bags and control left clicking to preview it on my character. Now where was I? How was I telling my story? I was in Northern California. She was in Southern California. We just happened to be playing at the same time. I was in a guild called Katipunan, which is a Filipino guild, and she had her own guild that she was running. She's a people manager in real life, so she was managing people in the game. Pretty funny story to me. Maybe not so funny for you guys. Oh dear, what's going on? The ground shook and I couldn't move for a second. And I hear lots of explosions. And oh, look at that. There's water. There didn't used to be water here. And I suppose if I started reading quest text, I would know what happened. But reading is for 6-year-olds like my daughter, who is a very good bookworm. Self-proclaimed bookworm, actually. Do I need to save these people? I do. Can I save more than one at a time? I cannot. So where do I bring them? Drowning Watchman rescued. Huh? There's no items for me to use. Oh, I'm carrying him. Do I just bring him here? Yes. You're welcome, gasp. There's a speech bubble over there, but nobody was there. Oh, that's what was supposed to happen. Maybe there were two of them spawned in the same place. Oh, and I just noticed that I was doing this. on my way to that second guy, jumping in the water. Some things you can only do in video games. So we were both playing WoW, and it was, I think we were around level 30 because the story as we remember it is we met in Scarlet Monastery. I was the paladin. She was a night elf, male night elf druid who sometimes would equip her fishing pole out in the wild while hunting, and that's why she was never very successful at it, and she didn't know why. Sorry. Did not mean to be laughing at you. I was actually laughing with you. That's for her benefit when she watches this eventually. So we were both in California and decided after a few months, maybe it was 6 months, maybe it was less than that, I don't remember clearly. But after some months, we decided to meet each other, and I suggested what I thought was a town in between us, in between San Francisco and Los Angeles. I suggested Monterey, which is a nice little town on the coast. Turns out it was about an hour and a half from me and 4.5 hours from her, and that story never gets old for her. My fault. You know, I wasn't really thinking. But it was a great weekend. I think she was, as she was telling it, as she has retold it since then, she was actually kind of scared, didn't know what she was doing, and you know, I've since told her also that I was kind of scared too, because I didn't know that she was actually going to be a she, for example. What do we do here? Round up your horse. So I need 5 horses, and I can do that. Press 1. Need to rescue 2 more. So there'll be 4 following me and 1 I'm riding. Right? Hello? Yes. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5? I think so. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes!
Make it quick.
Questing is fun! Right, so I have more personal stories. More details about how we met, but let's save that for another time. For now, let's go back to the title of this episode, which again was OMGIBGSLTSMNS. Oh my goodness, I've been gone so long, there's still more new stuff! I almost didn't say that correctly. Let's see if I can focus on where I'm going, too. So to recap last episode, I learned that there's an achievement that lets you, for those people who like alts, creating alts like me, there's an achievement that gives you a level 1 mount. So you can start a new alt and be riding around in a, I think it is a motorcycle, and you ride in the sidecar. I think you get chauffeured around is the in-game story on why a level 1 has a mount. So I need 35 heirloom items for that. Heirloom items again are the gear that scales with your level, like for example this headgear I am wearing, and shoulders and cape and chest and so on. So that is my first big goal in this playthrough.
That's enough gabbing for me.
We also learned that DPS don't miss anymore, so there's no more hit stat. tanks don't get crit or crushed anymore, so there is no more defense stat. And there's no more armor, no more spell penetration, no more
Get
spell
dabbing or
resist.
get going.
What do I
Farewell.
need to do here? Grandma's new clothes. Is it in the back outside the house, maybe? It must be. Hello there. What are you doing? Guarding Grandma's clothes. So stats on gear has changed significantly. It's not quite the same as I remember.
What's your story?
What else did we talk about? There's instant
Watch your back.
PvP. Your gear turns into PvP gear that scales based on your PvE gear item level. And lots of other cool stuff. Let's talk about what else is new. OMG, IBG, SLT, SMNS. I think I have that memorized now. But first I need to focus. What is that? It's a kitty. It meowed at me. Oh, and I have more. Oh, what's going on? Do not mess with my kitty, you son of a mongrel! You cootie queen! Who are you calling a cootie queen? So, we were helped by someone who had the same name as this old lady, I think. Was it Grandma Wall something? Grandma
I got a
Wall.
bad feeling.
I got a bad feeling as well.
Good day.
Okay, I think we saved her, but she actually saved us. I think she is a werewolf, like me, and perhaps it is a secret, because if I remember the story correctly, I was in stocks not too long ago. Was put there by he's probably the mayor of this here town. And he only let me loose because he thought there was some good left in me. That's why I'm running around like as a werewolf. Now what do we have to do? We have to pick up glowing things. Easy enough.
It's too far away.
And I need to read this stuff. I have new stuff. But I have so much more to tell you guys. So there are different dungeon types now. Back in Wrath there were two. There was normal and heroic. And if I remember correctly, heroic dungeons gave gear in between questing gear and raid level gear. So first you would quest while leveling up and wear gear doing that. Quest rewards from questing, and that would be your gear while leveling up. And then you would do normal dungeons to get better gear, and then you would do heroic dungeons to get even better gear to bring your item level up to raid worthy. But now there is normal and heroic, which is I believe the same as before. There's also mythic dungeons, which is like vanilla dungeoning, where you would have to group up with people, probably friends, and then run to the dungeon entrance. That's something I'm not sure about that. I guess it's more difficult and it gives a vanilla feel, but I like the convenience of just getting in the queue. And actually, this is the button, Group Finder. I like the convenience of that. Getting in the queue and just sitting in town. But we'll try it out. We'll see more in this playthrough. There's also mythic dungeons. Oh, that's what I just talked about. Where you group up and meet up at the entrance. There are mythic keystone dungeons, which scale to your gear or your level, or maybe both. I'm not sure which. And they're kind of like, if anyone plays Diablo 3, I think it's WoW's version of that. where you can keep grinding and grinding and grinding some more. If you like doing dungeons, I think that is your grind. You never have to raid, but I'm sure the gear doesn't get better, or doesn't get as good as raid level gear. And then there's yet another kind of dungeon called time walking dungeons, where you revisit old dungeons, perhaps some dungeons that you never even saw while leveling up, and your level is scaled down to the original dungeon's level. And you get rewarded badges, kind of like the old, I think they're called badges of justice before. But you're rewarded badges for blue level gear. So that's it for dungeons. There's also new raid stuff. There's Raid Finder, which was there before I left before. It's a 25-person pugs. Pug is PUG, pickup group. You're grouped with a bunch of strangers, and so the difficulty is not that high. There are also normal and heroic dungeons, where kind of like the mythic dungeons. There are normal heroic raids, kind of like the mythic dungeons, where you group up with friends and you meet at the entrance. Again, I'm not sure about that, if that's fun or inconvenient. Perhaps both. There's also mythic raids, which is like the raids that I remember doing. Normal raids or progression raids. Whoa, this looks like a big deal. So there's mythic raids, which seem geared to 20 people in a guild. But and I look forward to doing that, but let me focus on this. This seems like a big deal.
For me today.
Enough gabbing for you today. Where are we going? Well, this is taking longer than I expected, so let me tell you about lockouts. There are no more dungeon lockouts, or raid lockouts rather. You're not locked out by dungeon, you're locked out by loot. So you can defeat bosses as many times as you need or as you want, but you only get one chance at loot. And that's not so clear to me how that works. So if anyone knows, let me know, or I will read some more and then let you know in the next episode. What is going on here? The ships! The ships! Was there something in the sky?
Forgilneus.
Forgilneus. Yes, I've been saying it wrong. Incorrectly. Forgilneus. Gilneus. Kind of like Draenei, Draenei. I don't know. I'm just being silly. Gilneus, Gilneus, Gilnean, Gilnean. I don't know. I'll probably say it incorrectly a few more times. I'm a stickler for correct spelling and grammar though, so I will learn Gilneus. What are we supposed to do? Board a carriage? That's this carriage. We are now level 11. So in this episode I had intended for it to be titled is Mist of Pandaria, Warlords of Draenor, Legion, and Battle for Azeroth. Will they all be worth buying and subscribing to? But there's so much stuff, so it ended up being what else is new episode since Wrath of the Lich King. Expected to be level 20 by now too. I think I will perhaps level up to 20 off screen, and then next episode I'll decide. Next episode will be my episode about, are all these expansions worth it? I think I have an idea what the answer will be. since there will be a next episode. Look out! We're under attack! There are statues throwing pebbles. Look like paper mache. Interesting. I think that was supposed to be scary. Or exciting.
For Gilneas.
For Gilneas. Gilneas. Okay. Gilneas. 5 grass survivor. Alright. We're saving more people. I think I will do this off screen. And thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the company. And I will see you next time. Take care.